Hey friends, so far in our quest to talk about literally every single Steins Gate spin-off, we've covered the good, the bad, a few too many things that just left me confused as to why the hell they exist in the first place, and now, today, we're gonna talk about some manga that I know exactly why they exist. This is why. And this, and also this. Okay, so one thing you might not realize is just how many Steins Gate manga have been published. Take a look at this stack. This is like maybe a third of them. I bought the rest digitally because I need to use them for videos, but like, Jesus Christ, dude. There's just so much. You'd think they'd have run out of material by the time they got to Ruka just slamming Okabe in the balls, but there's just so much more than you would ever imagine. Look, I get it. Steins Gate is a big, complicated story for people smarter than me. But what I don't get is where these short gag comics come from. Seriously, I have like 12 fucking manga that are just filled with 20-page short stories. Like, who's reading these? Besides me, of course. Like, take a look at this one from the aptly titled Steins 𝖯𝖏𝖏, where they literally write a lab mem dojin to sell at Comic-Con. I'm serious, that's actually the plot of the story. Now, if you for some reason aren't familiar with the concept of doujinshi, think of them as kind of like pornographic fan art you find on Tumblr. Oh, I thought maybe there was gonna be a butt? That's cute. So since most doujinshi are literally just pornography, they decided to ship 𝕯𝖏𝖏𝖏, and bro, I have at least one of these sitting on my shelf. Hold on. Who wrote this? There's no way this person hasn't written Steins Gate pornography before this. If you tell me they haven't, I literally don't believe you. I mean, Fennis takes them to the dojin store and gets them to bow to the god of dojins like they're entering a Jinja shrine or something, except the god is actually just pornography. Sure, it's funny they describe dojins to Suzuha as weapons that make your heart beat faster, and so she thinks they're all warriors, and okay, we're not going any further until we get to the bottom of this. Okay, you know how I said I don't believe you if you told me that the author hasn't written the dojin that they're literally writing about before? Well, turns out they're even more cultured than I thought, because they've written and illustrated more than one eroge. Of course, this still doesn't solve the dojin problem. Now, you may or may not be disappointed that they didn't even show the dojin they wrote, and by may, I mean you obviously are. I mean, come on, you're watching a show called Weeb Jail, because after spending 3 days and 3 nights working on something that I more likely than not jerked off to before recording this, they realized that last-minute printing on short notice costs a lot of money and just kind of give up, and then the story just ends. Yeah, I'd say they know exactly why Steins Gate is so popular in Japan. I mean, they dedicated a whole ass chapter to the girls going to the pool, and one where Okabe and Kurisu go to a summer festival. Hey, you fucked up hentai artists. Not that we're encouraging this shit, but you know, here's some vaguely lewd and or prelude scenes that you could, you know, conceivably do stuff with if you were, you know, so inclined. Not that we'd blatantly encourage that shit with a chapter literally about writing dojins, giving you even more a green light than the time you were visited by aliens, because we're family friendly. Look, here's this chapter where we pretend to interview the voice actors like they're the actual characters. Not that we would want you to lewd actual people. Haha, we would never do that, he jokes ironically, as if he hasn't fapped to all their officially published underwear photo books already. Disclaimer, while underwear photo books are pretty common for a lot of actresses in Japan, the only thing I actually found was this video labeled as Mayuri's actress in her underwear.
引っかかりましたね。ざま。こんなエロ動画に来ちゃうなんて、クズですね、君は。
You know, I have this theory that the number of dojins produced for her work is in direct proportion to how much the authors blueball their audience. Like, you know what I've never ever seen? A Dome Kano doujinshi. Why? You don't think it's popular enough? This thing ran for like 400 chapters, bro. No, it's because Sasuga sensei just wrote the motherfucking dojins herself. Seriously, they're more restrained than your average dojin, but not by much. all over the place. Just another reason why the 𝕯𝖏𝖏 manga is fucking goated, I guess. The other manga I wanted to talk about today is one with only marginally more effort put into the name, I guess out of necessity because it's literally just illustrated scenes from My Darling's Embrace, which is Steins Drops. This actually did confuse me at first because it isn't full scenes. No, they just did snippets of scenes from the visual novel that just kind of end without a second thought. So naturally, I was like, why the fuck does this exist? Until I remembered that there's a chapter where they go to the water park and get to see everyone's tits, and one where they go to a summer festival, and one where they go to Kamima, and this just lewds the absolute living fuck out of 𝕯𝖏𝖏. Oh my god, this visual novel is a motherfucking dojin shit, dude. Sure, you could maybe argue this has some literary merit. Hey, a visual novel can't show as much detail in the scene since it's mostly just text. And yeah, I guess it can't show Kurisu's whole bare fucking naked ass either. So yeah, showing what you couldn't with the VN, that would be fine and all, except they not only, you know, literally published almost every single individual route as a standalone manga, they actually wrote a 2-part sequel to the Kurisu route, which we've already talked about. So then, why does this exist? I guess for the same reason as that last one, what with mice climbing down 𝕯𝖏𝖏's shirt. Or that one chapter where weebs literally thirst so hard over Lukaku, they blow a hole in the ozone layer above Akihabara and everyone has to evacuate and go home. Oh my god, that's so hilariously fucking dumb. Let's just cut the video here and I'll see you next time when we move on to something a little less stupid.